After the HEIs completed a registration process, to apply for the IIQA, they have to come to the HEI's login by clicking on the Apply Online process in the NAAC's website. This leads you to this page after filling in the registration email ID and a password and CAPTCHA, the login. Now this is the page for the HEI's portal. The HEI has to stay in tune for the entire process of assessment and accreditation with their HEI's portal. All the information regarding the important dates, the notification, and all kind of information will be sent only through the portal. The IIQA is the institutional information for quality assessment. In the earlier methodology, this was through a letter of intent LOI and institutional eligibility for quality assessment put together in an RAF. It is called as the IIQA. Now IIQA marks the beginning of the process for the assessment and accreditation of an institution. While you have to apply an IIQA, you have to go to Manage IIQA and Prepare IIQA. This is the dashboard that shows the details of the IIQA. This has 5 major elements where the information are sought. You would not be able to go to the next information until you furnish the details of the previous one, such as first is the basic eligibility. The basic eligibility details have to be filled in, only then you will be able to go to the affiliation compliance or profile information or academic information or quality information. Now the basic eligibility seeks for an information whether you are applying afresh for accreditation or it is for a reassessment. For details regarding reassessment, you may please refer to the NAAC manual hosted in the NAAC website. The cycle of accreditation, as in the previous video we have said that we wanted to apply as a cycle 1, so it is appearing as cycle 1. If you were a cycle 2 or cycle 3 institution, the same will be validated in the database of NAAC and the same would appear here. The name of the higher education institution is as per the registration record. This would be appearing. We would now have to fill in the city, state, details. The date of establishment of the institution is a crucial component for the eligibility for assessment and accreditation. As on date, we require the institution to have been completed at least 6 years of its existence or must have produced at least 2 graduation batches. Now the establishment year of an institution you can give here and the date of establishment you can select here. So when such is done, year of graduation of last 2 batches has been sought. The year of graduation for our institution as Pragati Commerce and Science College would be 2017 batch and 2018 May batch. So 2 years of graduation is complete. Then when I say and go to the next, which means I have cleared the criteria set by NAAC for the eligibility that the institution Pragati Commerce of Science and College has completed minimum 6 years of its existence and it has produced 2 graduation batches. So it has to be okay. After accomplishing the basic eligibility, affiliation compliance can be filled in. We have entered here as an affiliated institution, as a college, which is affiliated to an university. Hence we will restrain yes, but for universities, this would not appear. Understanding this, when we say that we are an affiliated institutions, necessary affiliation details has to be provided as which university that we are affiliated to. It is always possible that for a college to have more than one affiliation from different institutions, different universities. Like for example, if I have 2 institutions and I could have affiliation from Bangalore University and from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. There are 2 parameters that have to be kept in mind in this affiliation letter. The affiliation letter should bear the institution's name, what is being provided in the name of the higher education institution in the registration document. Apart from this, the affiliation letter should also have the current year affiliation. Now it is Bangalore University affiliation letter and the Rajiv Gandhi University affiliation letter. Now while doing so, is the college offering program recognized by statutory regulatory authority? Now the programs that are offered by an institution, some programs require the SRA, that is Statutory Regulatory Authorities, permission to run the program, such as AICTE, NCTE, MCI, DCI, BCI, INC, RCI, etc. Now, if at all you have any such programs, please say yes. Or if it is a simple arts and science college which requires no affiliation of AICTE or any other statutory regulatory authority, you may say no and proceed. But if you say yes, the detail of these have to be provided. For better understanding of SRA, please click on the tooltip that will say about the details of the SRA. Now for our exercise, let us assume that we require the AICTE's approval, we require the Pharmaceutical Council of India's approval, and the MCI, Medical Council of India's approval. Now when we add these three approvals, the document of the current approval of the AICTE, current year approval of the PCI, and current year approval of the MCI has to be uploaded. When all the information, required informations are complete in the affiliation compliances, we can save and proceed for the next. The compliance is successful and it can be saved. After completing the compliance for affiliation, we move towards the profile page. The profile information are the basic information and the contact details that you are providing that can be used by the NAAC to inform you and to update you about the status of your assessment and accreditation. To start with, it begins with the name of the head of the institution, your title, and the name. The designation, if the college functions in its own campus, we choose to say yes, and the address that you wanted to provide. The state and the city is taken from the basic eligibility information wherein that we have provided the same. The PIN code of the institution, the phone number, the area code, the fax number. This information of registered mobile number comes from the registration detail, and the email address also comes from the registration detail. Apart from this, if you have any other email address that you can provide as alternate email, you can provide the same here. Apart from this, an alternate faculty contact details can also be provided. This faculty can be the IQAC coordinator or any other faculty who is in charge of the assessment and accreditation process. The designation of this faculty and the address, the state and union territory auto-populates again from the basic details. The phone number of this faculty and the fax and the mobile number. Care should be taken while providing this mobile numbers and email addresses, alternate email of this faculty, and the website of the institution. It is important that the institution should have an operational website without which it does not qualify for the revised accreditation framework. We are asking for several phone numbers, landline numbers, and email address to keep it sure that we reach you out in case of emergency, or the NAAC wants to reach you out to have more details or any other problems in the assessment and accreditation process through any of the email addresses that we have here. The nature of the college, we choose to be private. It can be anything out of these. Is the institution recognized under 2F of the UGC Act? If yes, the date of recognition by the UGC under 2F, and the document also has to be uploaded. If no, these details needn't have to be given. And we choose to be yes, and we say that we were recognized in July 2017, and we can upload the document of the 2F. Is the institution recognized under 12B of the UGC Act? If yes, then the date of recognition of the 12B and the document of 12B also to be provided here. Is the institution recognized as autonomous college by the UGC? If yes, the autonomous status document of the institution that has been provided by the UGC has to be uploaded here. As we have registered as affiliated college, we say no here. Is the institution recognized as college with potential for excellence, CPE? If we say yes, then the CPE document provided by the UGC has to be uploaded here. We choose to say no here. If the institution recognized as a college of excellence, we say yes, and the College of Excellence document provided by the UGC has to be uploaded here. But we say no as of now. And the date of uploading data on MHRD website for AISHE, that is All India Survey on Higher Education, need to be given here. MHRD expects every institution to update their details every now and then. So your latest update has to be provided here. And we also need to provide the AISHE certificate of registration that contains the name of the institution and the AISHE ID, which will be verified during the IIQA process. This also need to be attached here. Apart from this, the head of the institution need to give a certification stating that he had complied to all the rules and regulations of central government, state government, UGC and affiliating university and other applicable SRA in the prescribed format. The prescribed format can be downloaded by clicking in to this link, and the same can be printed, filled in, duly signed by this head of the institution and with the seal of the institution with the date. The same can be scanned and uploaded at this page. So we have one ready which can be uploaded. Has the institution made statutory declarations on the institutional website under section 4 of 1B of the RTI Act 2005? Now the RTI Act 2005 requires information that has to be declared in the institutional website. If yes, then the link to that particular landing page need to be given here. Now this link should directly take you to the RTI information provided in the web page. Otherwise, you can choose no. Does the institution have statutory cells and committees? Now what are out of these statutory cells and committees, what are functional in your institution? It could be these. Now we save and we proceed. You could see the advancement of this bar as and when we progress. So the profile information is saved successfully and we proceed to the academic information. After having completed the profile information, we will move towards the academic information. In the academic information, details about the number of the programs and the detail of the programs, the details of the staff members, the teaching and non-teaching staffs, the detail of the students, and if the institution has any MOU with foreign institutions, that also need to be mentioned in this section. In terms of number of programs, we will choose the academic program UG as 7 programs, PG as 3 programs, doctoral program as 1, and we would have number of diploma and certificate programs. In terms of understanding about the combination of specializations, you may please see to this tooltip. In terms of diploma and certificate programs, it is enough to mention about the number of programs and not the details of the programs. Now, having mentioned the number of programs, let us proceed to the details of the programs. The detail of the program seeks for the departments, programs, affiliating university, the statutory regulatory authority, and the affiliation status. Institutions who have a departmental setup can include the department by going to the provision of add departments, and they can include their departments like this. But institutions who do not have a departmental setup but have a combination of programs like BSc, Botany, Physics and Geology can mention their specialization here and not mentioning the departments. Well, now in this institution as Pragati Commerce and Science College, we assume that this institution has the departmental setup, and hence we would add the department. We can enter the department name here, and we could save it, which will be populating here in this list. I have done 9 departments. I will show one department for your kind understanding. As if I have Department of Chemistry, I say chemistry and then save. The same will be added here. And if you want to delete, you can delete here like this. After having added the list of department, you have to provide the program details here. As you type the program as BSc, it will auto-populate, and it is essential that we choose one among these as BSc, and the department is botany. So it's a BSc botany course that we wanted to say, and it is affiliated to Bangalore University. It doesn't require any SRA approval, and the affiliation status we remind to be temporary. Right. Now, as I iterated in the previous section, there can be 2 types of affiliation. It can be a temporary or a permanent affiliation. In case of temporary affiliation, as said before, a current affiliation letter from the affiliating university is must and should. In case of permanent affiliation, a permanent affiliation would have been granted to the institution some time before. Even then, it is important that the affiliating institution should give a letter on the current year that the institution's status is permanent even till date. In this institution, we assume that it is a temporary affiliation, and we add the program here. Proceeding to the next, it is BSc Zoology. So as said, it has to be chosen from the populating list. As we have said that there are 7 UG programs, and this program MBBS is affiliated to the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. We have earlier iterated that we have been affiliating to 2 universities. One is Bangalore University and other one is Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, and this MBBS course is affiliated to Rajiv Gandhi of Health Sciences, and hence we choose Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. It requires an SRA approval of Medical Council of India, and we have already uploaded the Medical Council of India's SRA approval letter, and we add this here. In terms of post-graduation courses, MCA needs the AICTE approval. MBA also needs AICTE approval. We would also have a M-Pharma course, and which would need the Pharmaceutical Council of India's approval. As we have stated that we have one doctoral degree, we would be having a PhD program. It is important that the list that we mention here should match with the number of programs that we have mentioned here. Otherwise, the system would not take it. Now, understanding these, going ahead, we need to mention a self-declaration by the head of the institution with reference to the affiliation status. The prescribed format can be downloaded from here. The self-declaration should mention all the programs that has been offered by the institution as mentioned in the IIQA, with the serial number of the program, the name of the program duration as a number of years, and the current affiliation status as permanent or temporary. This has to be duly signed by the head of the institution and the seal of the institution. The same should be taken print on the letterhead of the institution, and that has to be scanned and uploaded. One such is being done here already. After completing the program details, we move towards the details of staff members. Now, this talks about how many permanent teaching staff members, the number of other teaching staff members, and non-teaching staff members. All other teaching staffs engaged by the institution, excluding permanent staff members like ad hoc faculties also. We would choose that we would be having 30 permanent male staff members and 20 female staff members. That makes the count automatically as 50. The other staff members, we would be having around 15 male ad hoc faculties and 20 female ad hoc faculties, and makes the count 35. And we would be having 20 male non-teaching staffs and 10 female non-teaching staff, making the count 30. If you have any transgenders enrolled in your institution, you may also please enter the same. The detail of the students, number of regular face-to-face students have to be mentioned here. The face-to-face students, meaning the students pursuing their programs full-time on campus, include the total number of students enrolled with the institution as on date of the submission of IIQA. In our institution, we would be having around 2,000 male students and 1,500 female students. That makes the count as 3,500. Now, coming to the next section of academic MOU, assuming that our institution has a MOU with Dundee University Department of Dentistry, we say yes. If we say yes, then that MOU document should be uploaded here. Otherwise, we can just say no and proceed. So, having been uploaded this, we would be proceeding to the next section. After having mentioned the academic information, we move towards the quality information. Now, here a question has been sought about the date of establishment of IQAC. Now, we would select any date in which the IQAC was established, and here in our case it's going to be the 11th March of 2013. And after saving this information, it automatically proceeds to the payment details. The system automatically shows the amount that has to be paid towards the IIQA process. Now, when we say OK, that this automatically diverts you to a payment gateway through which you would be able to pay either by a credit card or a debit card or an internet banking system. After you make payment by selecting the same, the page will again redirect you to the Submit IIQA button. If your payment is not successful, it would not be leading you to a Submit IIQA section. After making the payment, where the payment is successful, when we go to the Submit IIQA section, we will see all that we have filled in as basic eligibility, the affiliation compliance, the profile information, the academic information, the quality information, and the payment. Everything, the errors will be zero, and we would be able to preview the details. The previewing details will show the information whatever that you have filled as a document, and that would be ready to submit the IIQA. Now, before the submission of the IIQA, it is important to read the terms and conditions and then tick and submit the IIQA. Now, this will say that your IIQA has been successfully submitted. Upon clicking OK, you will see that the bar becomes 100%, and you will get a message stating that your IIQA is successfully submitted. The status of your application will be intimated through registered email ID. After this, NAC will be taking around 15 to 30 days time to process your IIQA application. But meanwhile, it is important that HEI have to log in every now and then and check for view clarification. The view clarification will tell you if there were any clarifications sought by NAC about the application or the documents that you have provided during the IIQA process. The process of the application depends on how better your document is supported with documentary evidences. In such case, when there is no clarification required, we would go ahead and approve your IIQA directly. But whenever there are any clarifications required, clarifications will be sought. Let us assume that you have been checking your IIQA clarification every now and then, but one fine day you have been found in the dashboard that you have one pending clarification. There is a notification that also appears here stating that there is a new clarification on the IIQA. In such case, you would have to see this view clarification. We will get the IIQA clarification here. Now, details of the clarification is that the remark says that your affiliation letter is not recent. Kindly provide a recent affiliation letter of Rajiv Gandhi Health University. Here I would like to mention that many a times it would not be possible for you to obtain a recent affiliation letter from any university. In such case, you could at least provide a letter that you have written to the university stating for update of your affiliation letter or continuation of your affiliation and fee paid if any. Please click here to edit the IIQA. That will take you to the page where the IIQA can be edited. As the information sought by NAC is about the recent affiliation letter of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Science, you might have already provided an affiliation letter but in an earlier date. Now that they wanted a recent affiliation letter. Assuming that you do not have a recent affiliation letter, but you have written to the institution for continuation of affiliation and you have paid the fee. You can remove the attachment here, and that letter what you have written to the institution for continuation of affiliation and the fee paid details can be uploaded here. Upon completing the necessary editing that you require to do in the IIQA, you may please click View IIQA Clarification in order to submit your response. After having performed the necessary editing as sought by the NAC, we can go to submit a response, and in the response you may type that attached. Now again, it is important to understand the terms and conditions, and we provide submit. The system reminds you that you have edited your IIQA with regard to the clarification asked. Are you sure you wanted to submit the response? I say OK, and the response is submitted. At any point of time, should you be facing any difficulty in filling up the IIQA or any problem regarding the assessment and accreditation, you may please use this Support Help Desk option. Now this gives you an option wherein that you can write a mail and submit it to NAC about the problem that you have been facing, and it will be attended by the NAC official as soon as possible. Communication is encouraged only through this Support Help Desk for any problems or issues faced by you during the assessment accreditation process. After submission of your IIQA, you will see that your issues are attended, and you would be checking the portal mostly in this section of Manage IIQA and in this extended profile in QIF. When you click on this, access will be granted to this section only after your IIQA is approved. The approval of IIQA will also be sent through mail to the registered email address, and access to the extended profile